Hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna do a quick boss breakdown for Cyclone, any Cyclone build. Just to tell you what to do for the boss fights. This is boss specific, so I'm not gonna show trash in this video. Just thought I'd let you know, and I'm gonna see you guys at the next boss. Hey guys, so we're at the double valve fight. Now a thing I should suggest for every boss in this area is prior to entering the boss room, you want to place your portal here if you have a portal. If you're super cocky like me, then just waltz on inside, place your portal there if you want to, or place no portal at all. When you start the double valve fight, it's the same thing as Val Oversoul, relatively low, which is the last boss in Act 2, but there's two of them, and you can engage them at different intervals. So when you walk in the room, there are two little pyramid things, and when you walk to one, that one will start 5 seconds later, the second one will begin. So you'll have a couple seconds to DPS one to an appropriate amount prior to the second one engaging the fight. Now, if you want to, you can engage them both at the same time, although I never suggest that for any build. The main thing about this fight is you do not want to kill one before the other. You want to kill them relatively at the same time, because once one of them dies, the remaining Val Oversoul will get a substantial increase in cast speed, and overall just go fucking crazy. So we like to engage the one on the right first because we have a larger field of motion of this side of the map. Now he's going to do a ball lightning spread, a laser beam, and he's going to cast ice above your head. On top of that, he'll summon ads, which is not really a big deal, and then he'll do the Val Smash, which is the overhead thing. You should always dodge the Val Smash. That will most likely one-shot you in every build. Everything else is pretty much dodgeable if you can. Attempt to get him as low as possible without killing him. So that's decently low. Move on to the second one. Get him relatively low, or you can kill him if you'd like. The second one will come up. Oh, there he is. And you can see how he's shooting crazy fast. Much more aggressive. And you take him down at your leisure, basically. Alright, so we're at the trio fight. So we're fighting three bosses at once. It sounds like a daunting task, and often it is. For most builds, this is the most difficult fight in here of the three. Now, especially for builds that use Abyssus, this can be particularly a sketchy fight because you take increased physical damage, and this fight is predominantly physical damage. There's three forms of damage being dealt in this fight. Chaos, all on the ground. So it looks like puddles of death. Fucking stay out of that. You know, it's pretty basic knowledge. And there's one of the three is a dual striker. He has two claws for hands, or weapons, whatever the fuck they are, and he dual strikes. And when he sets himself on fire, he has half his damage becomes fire. So that's that. So once you avoid the chaos damage and kill him first, all the damage in the place is now strictly physical. Which means what? Which means Immortal Call fucking makes it pretty amazing. Because you're immune and vulnerable to physical damage. So the strat for my build, which is Cyclone, and majority of melee builds, is you kill the dual striker first, eliminate the only source of hybrid damage that you can't avoid, really, and then the fight becomes strictly stand out of chaos damage and face tank the world. Now, the one guy who does Cyclone can't perform a bleed on you. It actually puts corrupting blood, and that which goes through the immunity that given by flasks that has Staunching. It still removes corrupting blood. It doesn't remove one stack, it removes all stacks. So when you get 2-4 stacks on you, you simply use the Staunching, and you're back to 0 stacks. That's why you kill the Cyclone second, which leaves what I call her the titty bitch. Most people call her the titty bitch. The people, you know, they shake their tits and they shoot the spikes. That's what she does. All the damage is physical, 100% physical. It's quite simple. So avoid the black stuff on the ground. You know, kill the fire guy first, kill the Cyclone second, and kill her. Again, this is where you put a portal outside. It's actually a trick you can do, but I can't because I'm explaining this. Is you leave, say if this was a door here, or there's just mobs in here, you leave this pack alive, you put your portal down, you come out here, get 6 stacks or whatever stacks of endurance charges out here, so you can run in the fight with a mortal call up. That's one way to do it. That's often a safe way to do it if you're not experienced with the fight. And you can actually see the people. You can walk relatively close before engaging them. There's the titty bitch. There's the Cycloner. Come around here. There's the dual striker. Kill him first. Kill him second. Kill her last. Try to kill everyone in the middle, give or take, because when they die, from their corpse spawns ads, which you can use to both regen flasks, leech life back, leech mana back. It's better if they die in the center because the black circle kind of spreads out quite wide. and it makes it easier on yourself for kiting. This is for melee, this is for Cyclone. If you have a different build, it might be a different setup. A side note, which I mention often, when the fight is over, she has this rain of spikes that are going to be continuing across the map. You're going to have your Mortal Call run out, spikes will still be falling. So while you're looting, you're going to die. So I suggest you kill her, run out the room, proceed on to clearing, work your way back here. Because that shit persists for like 30 seconds to like a minute, it feels like sometimes. And it'll be like half the room will be raining spikes. So get the fuck out of there and don't die. Especially in hardcore, that's even more important. Let's give this shit a whirl. And here we are. Sorry if I was being quiet, attempting to concentrate. Like I said, you can, as long as you keep Mortal Call up, you can sit here infinitely, and I mean infinitely, and just watch your charges, watch your Mortal Call, and you'll take 0 damage whatsoever. It looks quite funny, and it is quite funny. You can easily keep this up with, 5 endurance charges, even 4 in some scenarios. I have 6. 6 is a safe number to use. That's the number I personally enjoy. So yeah, that's my advice. Get 6 charges. It's a good amount to come in here, and you can sit here for as long as you want. And then whenever you feel like it, you just take her down. Remember what I said, leave the room because that rain persists for a while. Okay, so we're at Queen's Chamber. Here's where you want to drop your portal. Go inside. There's that Ziri. If you're inexperienced or feel like you won't be able to dodge the Storm Calls, Lightning Damage, AoE spells, and Flame Blasts, you can toss all in replace of, that flask, and even that flask, toss on a couple fires or rubies or topazes if you so choose. If you're confident you're able to dodge, and you can dodge everything that she throws at you, it's not necessary. I just wasted all my flash charge, I realized. Anywho, let's get into the fight. Pretty much for melee, not a whole lot is difficult. You dodge all her abilities. Most of her stuff is dodgeable. The puncture is what's going to hit you hard. For a business build especially, puncture's a little sketchy. Now she has 3 different phases. Regular phase is she'll toss out all her abilities, and she'll either go to feeding phase, which is when a bunch of mobs from different directions come to her. You kill the mobs before they get to her. If they get to her, it heals her a slight amount. That's your basically chance to either get endurance charges up, any charges up, flasks up. That's your chill phase. When that phase ends, it's possible, and it's ideal, in my opinion, I would suggest it, to have six endurance charges, because often we'll go from that phase very, very swiftly into her split phase, when she splits into 4 people, and each of them has a different ability and different thing they like to do. During that phase, you can actually Immortal Call, and it makes a puncture a non-issue, which is nice. One of them is carrying a mirror, like your shield at Ziri's mirror. If you hit her, you'll take reflect damage. Don't hit her. For the split phase, there's one thing I'd like to swap out, and that is I swap increased AoE into concentrate effect, because it makes it a lot easier to kill. If you're a ranged character, you can just stand off to the side, but for Cyclone builds, you have to sit in the center. When she's in the split phase, there's one more thing that's really important, aside from this whole thing of fight. There's one thing that really makes a difference for me in the split phase, is when the fight engages, you want to, I like going for the one that's throwing the spear. I like standing opposite of her, because when the fight starts, the Flame Blaster will cast Flame Blast on my current location, which means as it's casting, I run to her. That gives me a couple seconds of DPS down. There's about a 5-second window between Flame Blasts. Obviously, dodge Storm Calls, as you don't want to be hit by those, and take your time in the fight overall. Let's give this a whirl. I went to feeding phase, so we're going to put in this for this. And it pretty much becomes pretty easy. Every 25% is when she'll do a split phase. Just make sure to remember to either keep your endurance charge up if that's what you're trying to do, or swap your gem back in for single target DPS. So I'm gonna swap my gem back in. Bada bing, bada boom. See, I was able to refresh it right before it went off. So now for this part, I can DPS her down with no fear of taking any physical damage. I like to keep my charges up. See, it's going to split again, but this time I have 3 stacks, which is still pretty much enough to mitigate the damage and to dodge everything. You kind of drive by her, if you see what I'm saying here. That could kill you some of the time. This is the phase where I'm coming in without my things. Let me show you an example of what I mean by Flame Blast. So she's going to cast Flame Blast on me. So you move, you kind of kite it away, and you take your windows of attacks. There's a window. Oh, I got clipped. I may have been desynced. I was desynced. That's a possibility that happens quite often with Zeri. We're going to come back in when I'm coming back in. All right, I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so we're back at Queen. We just died. Do we run right in and start killing her? There's something you should do first. You come in, you notice, oh, I have a grace period. You want to wait till it's at about 2 seconds and come in, because sometimes there's Flame Blasts or Storm Calls that are literally invisible. When you come in, you better start fucking moving, because they're not going to wait for you. So we came around. Oh! There we go. And it should be it. Risk it for a biscuit. Imbued Wand. Look at that fanciness. And that's that pretty much. That's all there is to it.